Hey software! So this very quick video is going to show you how you can use lists with font names. This is especially useful when you have a lot of font names and you don't want to remember exactly how to type all of them, or when you just have some really weird names that you're worried about mistyping. Again, when you use font names, they have to match exactly the way the name looks where it's linked. And if they don't, your font's not going to change. And I'm sure this is an issue we're going to run into at least once or twice. So I want to make sure you have this up your sleeve. This is also really useful if you decide to have a font chosen randomly at any point in time, which you might be doing in your final project, as a spoiler alert. So, the very first thing I would recommend doing is going through Google Fonts and selecting a bunch of fonts that you want to use. As you can see, I have already done this. If this is something that you haven't gotten to yet, feel free to pause this video, go find a whole ton of fonts, and then come back when you're ready. So I'm going to go right to the embed link, and I'm going to copy and paste this into my code. And something I do want to mention is that sometimes I know you guys are working with fonts and then you find more that you want to use. That's totally fine. You can have as many of these embed links as possible. It won't mess anything up. You just want to make sure they all get inside your head tag. So I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to go to my editor. I'm working in the same starter code that you guys are going to be working in. I'm going to go into the HTML and I'm going to paste it anywhere between where my head tag starts, which is on line 3, and where it stops, which is on line 9. I like to paste this at the bottom. It just makes the most sense to me. But if you want to paste it right underneath where you see head because that makes sense to you, that's also okay. HTML doesn't really care. So I have this linked now, and I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different fonts that I have decided to use. And I am going to turn these into a list of fonts. So I'm going to call my list fonts. And it is an array, so I'm going to mark it with those square brackets. And then the same way we added fonts into text font, I'm going to add my fonts in here. So I am going to use this for the names. I see one is called Fredoka 1. So I'm going to type in quotes as a string, Fredoka 1. Then I'm going to type my next name, which is Girasol. And then righteous. Oops, I need to make sure they're all in quotes. And then my last one is special elite. Oops, make sure I spell it correctly. So if I hit play now, I'm going to have completely unstyled text. This list isn't super useful yet. But the way this list could be more useful is if I want to use righteous, and maybe my spelling is atrocious, I'm afraid I'm going to mess that up. Instead of having to type that name, I can now type text font, the same function call we were using before, and then in those parentheses, I'm going to put the number of righteous. So it is 0, 1, 2. So I'm going to put text font, fonts, square brackets 2. And now when I hit play, we should see that everything has changed to a new font. If I wanted to use other fonts, I would just adjust these numbers. 0 will be the first thing in my list. And that goes all the way up to special elite, which is 0, 1, 2, 3. I could put 3 in here and see that I get the special elite font. I'm going to let you guys play with this as you move through this work. When I'm grading this, I should see you guys using fonts and an array to call all of your font names, especially because you will have many more font names than me. And as an exceeding challenge, if you would like to have one pick a font randomly every time the program is run, you are welcome to do that. Have fun!